Thank you for stopping by Luxuriously Poor, and I hope you find today's video helpful. And I would like to say that if you need wisdom on what to do for now or the future, this book is extremely helpful. You know, I don't go grocery shopping, and I started doing this right here, and I'm so used to just doing things. And my son is always telling me, people don't live like you do, Mom. They're not interested in the way you live, because I just don't grocery shop like people do. And, I do things really, really different, but that's because I live below poverty level. But you know what? I decided I was going to share this anyhow. This is zucchini. It's Mexican squash is what it's called. It's frozen. I freeze it. I put it in Ziploc bags when it's on sale. I will walk into a store with $2 and change, and I will weigh it out, and that's all I'll buy and come home. That's it. I won't get anything else from that store. And this is what I do. And then I freeze it to use at a later date. Now, I froze this first on top of parchment paper after I cut them lengthwise in half. And I cut the tips and the ends off. And then I cut them in half again so that it makes 4 pieces. One squash will make 4 pieces. Laid it on the parchment paper, froze it, and now I'm going to stick it in Ziploc bags. And if you stick around to the end, you will see a recipe that I'm going to make with this. If you clicked off before, I'm very sorry that you missed out. I hope that you will stick around to the end and check out this recipe and give this a thumbs up. Well, here goes the recipe that I'm going to use with this zucchini and my frozen cabbage that I showed you that I freeze. Okay, I'm going to show you a soup that I make with those vegetables that I showed you that you could freeze. Now I start off, I've got, I think it's 3 leg thigh quarters that I cut, and to it I added a couple of bay leaves, and then I'm just going to put some salt, a little bit of garlic powder once it starts cooking here. And I will add that frozen cabbage and squash, the Mexican squash, that I froze to this soup. That's why I keep it on hand for soups. And that gives me a chance to buy it when it's really cheap. We'll come back for the soup part when this is cooked better. Okay, as you can see now, my soup, my chicken, has begun to boil. I've skimmed off the top. I took a small onion. I'm going to put it in here whole, cut in half, I should say, not whole. Now, what I'm going to do now is, see, I want to put this cabbage in here, because cabbage takes a long time. It does take a long time to cook. And this is frozen. I have my bag over here. You see? I have some bigger pieces in here also. But I'm just going to throw all this in here. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but you see? That steam makes it hard to see. But this is my frozen cabbage. And I save it. When it's on sale, I buy it and freeze it. That's why I have it for hard times. Well, for me, every day is hard times. But still, I can get a lot more for my money. And it'll go further. Okay, here's our frozen squash, Mexican squash. And it's going to go over here into this pot. No defrosting it first, no thawing it out. And I think this is enough soup for 2 days. So I'm going to put maybe, I don't know, five pieces of it. I have a few left over. I will add to this when it's on sale again, or if I get enough change that I find along the way, use my change to buy some squash and put it in the freezer to go with chicken. But we still have to cook this a little more because as you can see, I put a couple of potatoes in it also. But I'm making what they call a Mexican style rice that we put in this also. But we cook it. It goes into our bowl, okay? I'll show you after I'm done with this whole thing. Okay. This soup starts first with the Spanish style rice. And what you do is you put the rice into the bowl first. See? And then you put your soup, which is over here. Whoa, the steam rolling off of that. Was that hard on your ears? Probably. Okay, we're going to start with, well, let's see. How about a thigh? Let me move my bowl closer over here. Now, this isn't beautiful to look at, colorful wise. I mean, the most colorful thing is the squash, the Mexican squash. You can put carrots in it. It's up to you what you want to do. But when you live below poverty, you don't get real super fancy. And carrots is just, I don't think they're that super good. Personally, I don't care that much for them. That's why I really don't put them. But here's the cauliflower. Now that I care for, and it's super good for you. Well, thank you for watching this to the end. And I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. And God bless us, because we are blessed that He has given us food for the day. And we're still moving around and walking.